Are you going to, you're on vacation?
What do you mean, vacation?
Spring vacation.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we call vacation when you don't have school.
Oh,
It's called a vacation. Are you filming now? Yeesh.
And you already have 2 more people watching. Arindam Krishna Prabhu and Hari Vallabha Devi Dasi.
Who?
Hari Vallabha Devi Dasi and Arindam Krishna Prabhu.
Where's Hari Vallabha from? Hari Vallabha Devi Dasi.
She will answer.
Huh?
She will answer.
She might be in Australia, I can't remember. Okay.
Oh, look at all these wonderful leaves and everything. This is you guys again.
They got leaves and everything, it's nice.
Who did this for you?
Different company.
A different company
Yeah.
came? A different design company?
It's nice, this one's just nice.
Yeah.
Brazil.
Huh?
Oh, she's from Brazil.
Brazil.
Hari Vallabha Devi is from Brazil.
Huh. Okay. I'm going to try this, do this differently today. Okay, here. So today we'll start Chaitanya Bhagavata. Can you hear it out there? Okay, maybe close the door a little bit so we don't get too much feedback. All right, now. Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sangrajatam Saguna Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vidam Scha Om Ajnana Timarandasya Gyanajana Shalakaya Chakshurun Milidam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurava Bistam Sapurakam Guraganara Sisha Samursidam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govinda Bidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Bidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchanda Varana Balarka Chelan Sandrananda Puram Sarikavaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Manditam Shivaram Mareka Sharanam Nyashishwara Shridaram Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripasindhubhyavacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurata Vishay Namah Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Balarka Shelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sareka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Manditam Shivaram Marika Sharanam Yashishvara Shridaram. Okay, so today we're reading from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata by Srila Krishna Das by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Okay, and I'll start out with a few verses from there. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalaya taksho vishvambaro dvijavaro jugadharma palo bande jagat priyagaro Karunavataro. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, whose arms extend down to their knees, who have golden yellow complexions and who inaugurated the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Their eyes resemble the petals of a lotus flower. They are the maintainers of living entities, the best of the Brahmins, the protectors of religious principles for this age, the benefactors of the universe, and the most merciful of all incarnations. Namastri Kala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namah. O my Lord, you are eternally existing in the past, present, and future, yet you are the son of Sri Jagannath Mishra. I offer my repeated obeisances unto you along with your associates, your devotee servants, your sons, your Goswami disciples, or the processes of devotional service, such as the congregational chanting of the holy name, and your consorts, who according to regulative principles refer to Vishnu Priya, who is Bhu Shakti, Lakshmi Priya, who is Sri Shakti, and Navadip, which is Nila, Leela, or Durgan, according to devotional principles, refer to the two Gadadhars, Narahari, Ramananda, Jaganananda, and others. Okay, so in the future, I'm just going to say these in Sanskrit and Bengali. I'm not going to read the translations of these. So Jayate Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichino Shad Ishvaro Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvo Brataro Bhaje Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichino Shad Ishvaro Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvo Brataro Bhaje Sajayate Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakabha Kamalaya Tekshana Varajanu Vilambi Sadbujo Bahuda Bhakti Rasa Binartaka Jayachi Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Prityas Tasya Vishvesha Murtir Jayati Jayati Nityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam. Okay, now I'm going to read in English from the beginning of the Chaitanya Bhagavata. So this is chapter 1. We're starting at the beginning. And I worship their lordships, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, whose long arms extend down to their knees, whose beautiful complexions have the color and radiance of molten gold. They have initiated the congregational chanting of the names of Lord Krishna, and their elongated eyes are like red lotuses. They are the maintainers of the universe, the topmost of the Brahmins, the guardians of religious principles for this age, the munificent benefactors of all living entities, and the most merciful and compassionate incarnations of Godhead. O Lord, you are the eternal truth, unconditioned by past, present, and future, and yet you have now appeared as the son of Sri Jagannath Mishra. I offer repeated obeisances unto you, along with your intimate servitors, your unalloyed devotees, your sons, your renounced Goswami disciples, in the devotional process of chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna, and your consort, Sri Bhu Devi, who appeared as Sri Vishnu Priya, Sri Devi, who appeared as Sri Lakshmi Priya, and Sri Leela Devi, also known as Nila or Durga, who manifested Navadip Dham, and the two Gadadhars. One is Sri Gadadhar Pandit, the expansion of Srimati Radharani, and the other is Sri Gadadhar Bhatta from South India, who is Sri Ranga Devi, and Damodar, Narahari, Ramananda, Jaganananda, and all of your unlimited associates. I worship the two brothers, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who are the embodiments of magnanimity. By their inconceivable potency, they are the transcendental, eternal, supreme controllers of all. They have now descended to the material world. All glories to Sri Gaurasundar, the supremely powerful Lord of pure transcendence. He has an aura of molten gold with lotus petal eyes, and his long graceful arms extend to his knees. While he sings the glories of the Lord, he dances in various pleasing postures as his heart is inundated by the ecstatic emotions of the devotional mellows. All glories to the moon-like Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He is the fully independent, supreme person, always engaged in transcendental pastimes. He is the Lord of the universe, the supreme controller of all controllers, and the personification of transcendence. All glories to the devotees of Sri Gaurachandra. All glories to the ecstatic dancing of the Lord's intimate associates. In the beginning, I offer my humble obeisances to the feet of the loving confidential devotees of Lord Chaitanya. I then offer my obeisances to the Supreme Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He is incarnated in Navadip, and he is known as Vishwambar. That same Supreme Person has declared in the Vedas and Srimad Bhagavatam, worship of my devotees is superior to worship of me. Lord Krishna said to Uddhava, "O Uddhava, serving my devotees is many times better than worshipping me. Therefore I offer my worshipful prayers unto the devotees of the Lord before I begin to write this book. By this act may my present endeavor be successful. I offer my respectful obeisances to my worshipable Lord and spiritual master, Sri Nityananda Rai, by whose mercy the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya become spontaneously manifest with 1,000 tongues. We should incessantly glorify the Supreme Lord Balaram, because his 1,000 mouths as Anantasesha constantly glorify Lord Krishna. Just as priceless gems are kept in secure custody, so also the invaluable jewel of knowledge about Krishna's pastimes is kept safely in the mouth of Anantadeva. Therefore, the tongue which initially glorifies Balaram will automatically be qualified to vibrate the divine pastimes of Sri Chaitanya. The Supreme Lord Haladar holds his 1,000 hoods like snakes. He is a gigantic figure and the source of all inspiration. As Nityananda, he is fully divine and eternally existent, intoxicated by the nectar of Sri Chaitanya. Whoever sings or hears about Nityananda's supreme mundane character is offered the supreme shelter of Lord Chaitanya. Mahesh and his consort Parvati Devi take great pleasure in eulogizing the object of their loves, Shankarsha, Nityananda Prabhu. In the midst of 1,000,000 fresh young maidens, the pure devotee Sri Shiva and his consort pour out nectarian devotional hymns to Lord Shankarshan. All this is revealed in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Balaram is worshipped by the entire Vaishnava world with songs of praise. Balaram dances with his gopis in Vrindavan, and their rasa dance is the pinnacle of sublimity. The Puranas describe that Balaram performs his rasa dance during the 2 months of spring, Madhu and Madhava. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the verses narrating this subject are spoken by Sukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. Balaram spent the moonlit nights of the months of Madhu and Madhava with the cowherd damsels in the supramundane abode of Vrindavan. The place was set aglow with the rays of the moon. The lotus and kadamba flowers bloomed freely under the influence of the moon's rays, and a soft breeze circulated their scent. In the groves on the bank of the Jamuna, Balaram danced with the gopis, increasing their conjugal mood. The Supreme Lord Balaram, like an exquisite gem decorated by the cluster of gopis, performed his pleasurable pastimes. He behaved like Indra's elephant, Airavata, the controller of many she-elephants. The Gandharvas observed the rasa dance and offered their prayers. The sound of kettle drums rose from the heavens. The demigods joyously showered flowers upon them, and the Gandharvas and sages worshipped the Supreme Lord Balaram with verses praising his activities. As the sages unequivocally denounce association with women, yet they sing hymns in praise of Balaram's rasa dance with his cowherd damsels. The demigods attended Balaram's rasa dance to shower flower petals. They know that there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, Haladar. The transcendental qualities of Balaram are obscure in the four Vedas, but the Puranas describe them boldly. What power do I have to describe it? However, out of ignorance, some people disregard the Puranas and reject Balaram's rasa dance as inauthentic. The two brothers, Lord Krishna and Balaram, performed the Rasa Krita pastimes with the gopis in the same place of Vrindavan. Once on the radiant full moon night at the end of the Shiva Ratri Vrata, Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram were playing holy in the midst of the beautiful maidens of Vrindavan. Krishna and Balaram were both pleasingly decorated with the finest jewelry, sandalwood pulp, wildflower garlands, and exquisite clothes. The fortunate gopis sang sweetly their hearts and songs, enraptured by love for Krishna and Balaram. As Krishna and Balaram praised the beauty of the nightfall, the moon and the stars appeared. The fragrance of Arabian jasmine intoxicated the bumblebees, and the fragrance of jasmine intoxicated the bumblebees, and a light breeze carried the aromas of white lilies and lotus flowers. Considering that very moment to be appropriate, Krishna and Balaram began their pleasurable dalliances or activities. They sang together for the pleasure of all living entities, their voices rising and falling melodiously. If a person, after reading Srimad Bhagavatam, is not affectionately inclined toward Lord Balaram, then he is rejected by the Supreme Lord Vishnu and his devotees. In the words of Srimad Bhagavatam, a non-believer is a yavana, a barbarian. He is destined to suffer in hell, birth after birth. Faithless persons who are like eunuchs make emotional gesticulations, foolishly challenging. Gesticulations. Foolish persons who are like eunuchs make emotional declarations, foolishly challenging. Which scripture describes the rasa dance of Balaram? Who is so sinful that even after reading the scriptures he cannot accept the truth, but misinterprets the real meaning and gives his own distorted understanding? Lord Balaram is the abode of Lord Chaitanya's deep affection. Thus, offense at Balaram's lotus feet destroys all possibility of salvation. Shri Balaram appears in various forms along with all the incarnations of Lord Krishna, thus manifesting different characteristics in his loving service to the Lord. In his incarnation as Lakshman, the younger brother of Lord Ramachandra, Balaram enacted the role of the Lord's servitor. Yet in his manifestation with Lord Krishna, Balaram serves him in every respect as a friend and as a brother by fanning him, putting him to sleep, glorifying him with Vedic invocations, and expanding himself as his house, umbrella, attire, jewelry, and seat. In the Shrotra Ratna, it is said, O Lord, your direct partial expansion, Ananta Sesha, is the source of all the various ingredients for your service in the realm of Vaikuntha. Ananta Sesha is famous because he is manifest as your residence, bed, throne, shoes, clothes, jewelry, etc. When shall I see you with Lakshmi Devi seated upon the throne of Ananta Sesha? Ananta Sesha's partial expansion is the mighty Sri Garuda, whose Ananta Sesha's partial expansion is the mighty Sri Garuda, whose satisfaction is derived from acting as the Lord's carrier in every pastime. Ananta's devotees include Brahma, Shiva, the four Kumaras, Srila Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami, and Narad Muni. His glorious qualities are unlimited and are not fully understood by anyone. He is the original personality, the greatest mystic, the Supreme Lord, and the greatest devotee of the Vaishnavas. Thus far, you have heard about the wonderful services performed by Ananta Sesha. Now hear about his great opulence. Ananta Sesha is enthroned in the lower planetary system of Patala as his own source and repose. All worship him as his 1,000 mouths continuously taste the unlimited nectar of Krishna Prem. In the court of Brahma, Narad Muni plays on his veena, and with well-composed verses he sings the wonderful glories of Ananta. Is it humanly possible to know the supramundane nature of Anantadev? Just by his glance, he sets in motion the three modes of material nature, that are the cause of this world's creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Although he is one, he supports the entire variegated material cosmic manifestation himself within the pores of his person. He is beginningless and eternal. Other than Lord Shankarshan and Anantasesha, who can offer shelter to persons devoid of all material aspirations? He is the support upon which the material world manifests and acts. That Supreme Lord, the cause of all causes, has appeared in his sublime spiritual form. He is the most powerful. In comparison, the power of the lion is insignificant. He performs pure pastimes to capture the hearts of his dear devotees, and he destroys countless sins by manifesting his divine form. What more is there to say than this? Hearing or calling out the name of Lord Anantadev, either respectfully or accidentally purifies one. Even a most degraded person is purified if he just tauntingly utters the name of Sri Ananta. Anantadev's mighty potency is beyond measure. That Supreme Lord carries upon just one of his 1,000 heads the entire universe with all its living entities, mountains and rivers, and that universe appears to be only a minute atomic speck. Even if a person acquires 1,000 tongues, how can he describe the power of the omnipotent Supreme Lord? Anantadev is his own shelter and source, filled with unlimited power and strength, while residing in the lower planetary system of Rasatala with complete ease. Born from his detachment, he holds the gigantic cosmic manifestation. This material world's creation, maintenance, and annihilation, as well as the three modes of material nature, are activated by his glance. Who can fathom Anantadev's non-dual, transcendental, eternal, and unborn existence? Out of mercy towards the living entities, the Lord manifests his supramundane spiritual form while he performs his variegated pastimes. All the living entities reside within that transcendental form. The mighty Lord Nrsingadev represents but a wave in the ocean of the Lord's unlimited pastimes, which satisfy the hearts of his devotees. Anantadev's unlimited names, when heard or chanted by anyone in any manner, immediately severs the noose of innumerable births and deaths. Thus, the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord always appreciate those who glorify him. Anantasesha is the supreme destination of the entire universe. His holy name is the only means for the redemption of the living entities. The Lord holds upon his head the unlimited material nature along with its mountains and oceans, simply for its protection and maintenance. The entire universe is but a speck upon one of his 1,000 hoods, and because of his unlimited strength, he does not feel the burden in the slightest. Lord Anantadev, the original Supreme Personality and maintainer of the entire cosmic manifestation, incessantly sings in glorification of Lord Krishna. He continuously describes every aspect of the Lord's divine attributes. Lord Krishna is eternal, and his ever-expanding attributes are unlimited. Therefore, he can never be fully described or glorified. However, the ability of Ananta to glorify the Lord is also unlimited, and eternally he is engaged in description of the Lord's qualities. In their divine relationship, neither is ever victorious. Even today, Anantasesha's 1,000 mouths continuously sing the glories of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. How wonderfully Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram compete with each other. Brahma, Shiva, other demigods, and the perfected sages look on, feeling great exhilaration. The eternal eulogies of Anantadev pursue that ever-expanding elusive shores of Lord Krishna's ocean of qualities. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, O Narada, I, Brahma, and your elders, Sanaka, and other sages cannot even fathom the extent of this material nature, what to speak of knowing the Supreme Lord's spiritual potencies. Anantadev, the origin of all demigods, is unable to exhaustively glorify the Supreme Lord's transcendental opulence and potencies with his 1,000 mouths. Therefore, how is it possible for ordinary mortals to understand these divine potencies? Anantadev is himself the master of unlimited attributes, and he resides in Rasatala. Anantadev is himself the master of unlimited attributes, and he resides in Rasatala simply to support the vast material creation. In the court of Brahma, Narad Muni plays upon his veena and glorifies the wonderful qualities of the Supreme Lord. Brahma and his associates are stunned in ecstasy upon hearing the supramundane qualities of the Supreme Lord. All worship Narad Muni since he sings in description of these qualities. I've also been moved to write a few phrases in praise of the unlimited potencies of Lord Nityananda. Anantadev and I humbly request all of you to develop a loving devotional mood towards the Lord. Those who desire to cross over the dangerous ocean of material existence and drown in the ocean of devotional ecstasy may take shelter of Lord Nityananda. I pray to the merciful Vaishnava devotees of the Lord to fulfill the yearning of my heart. May I serve my Lord Balaram birth after birth. Just as Dvija, Vipra, and Brahmana are different names for the same person, similarly Nityananda, Ananta, and Balaram are different names for the same Supreme Personality. My Lord Nityananda Prabhu, my Lord Nityananda Prabhu appeared within my heart and instructed me to narrate the transcendental qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this book. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are revealed by Nityananda's mercy only because of his personal expansion in Anandasesha. Because his personal expansion in Anandasesha is the storehouse of information about Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna's pastimes. Although Sri Anandasesha is the embodiment of Krishna Kirtan, I have been able to offer only a humble prayer in his honor. Hearing Lord Chaitanya's qualities and pastimes can clean away all material contaminations. Such pastimes are revealed only through a pure devotee's grace, for who else can know the nature and pastimes of Lord Chaitanya? Even in the Vedas, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are a hidden mystery. Therefore, I have compiled only first-hand accounts taken directly from the lips of the associates of the Lord. So this is quality of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata. Here it says, I have compiled only first-hand accounts taken directly from the lips of the associates of the Lord. So these pastimes are all written by persons who were present during the time of Mahaprabhu. Both Krishnadas Kaviraj and Vrindavan Das Thakur. I see no beginning or end to Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. They are eternal and unlimited, and only the Lord's grace gives me the potency to compose them. I am simply Lord Chaitanya's mouthpiece, repeating as he desires, just like a doll moved by some unseen hand. I throw myself at the feet of all pure Vaishnava devotees, so they may cleanse me of my offenses. O my brothers, please listen very attentively. Though the transcendental pastimes Lord Chaitanya performs with his devotee associates, ecstatic pastimes of Lord Chaitanya have been divided into three periods: Adi, Madhya, and Antya, or Seish. Early, intermediate, and later. The early period includes the description of the Lord's education, and the intermediate portion reveals Mahaprabhu's pastimes of congregational chanting. The concluding portion describes the Lord's pastimes as a sannyasi in Nilachala, Orissa. From there, he allocated Nityananda the mission of preaching in Bengal. The pious Sri Jagannath Mishra, Chaitanya's father, lived in Navadip, Like Vasudeva, he conscientiously performed his spiritual duties. His devout and faithful wife, Srimati Sachi Devi, was the second Devaki, the beloved mother of everyone. The Supreme Lord Narayan appeared in the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi, and as Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he became the most precious possession of everyone's heart. The Adikanda begins by describing the appearance of Lord Chaitanya on an auspicious full moon evening in the month of Falgun, just as the moon went into eclipse. The tumultuous chanting of Lord Hari's holy name filled all directions, inspiring everyone to sing together. The Supreme Lord Chaitanya was born amidst the chanting. The Adikanda also describes the Lord's numerous childhood pastimes. The Adikanda also describes the Lord's numerous childhood pastimes. Lord Chaitanya reveals to his parents his otherwise unmanifest place of residence, the holy Dham. Moreover, as they stare in wonder, he displays the signs of divinity upon his lotus feet. In this portion of the book, one day thieves kidnap baby Nimai from his house, but he tricks them into bringing him back home. Another story narrates how the Lord ate all the foodstuffs offered to Vishnu in the house of Jagadish and Hiranya on Ekadasi day. Yet another story describes the Lord sitting upon a pile of contaminated cooking pots, using the situation to instruct his mother in philosophy. In the Adikanda, the Lord also acts like a crying baby, using his tears as a ploy to make everyone chant the holy names of Krishna. The Adikanda discusses the Lord as a child playing with his friends as if he were Krishna in Gokula. The Lord begins his education and with little effort masters all the scriptures. The Adikanda narrates the disappearance of Sri Jagannath Mishra and Vishwarup's acceptance of sannyas and how these two disasters afflicted Sachimata. Then the Adikanda describes the Lord's wonderful pastimes as a student. He was pride personified before the other student scholars. Chaitanya's travels through eastern Bengal are also described here. The land becomes a place of pilgrimage by the touch of his lotus feet. Chaitanya becomes the master of all different scriptures. There is no one in the three worlds to challenge his erudition. The Adikanda describes the Lord sporting with his fellow students in their water pastimes in the waves of the Ganga. Then come the Lord's first marriage and the glorious disappearance of his first wife. He duly accepts a second wife, the daughter of a regal scholar. Once he appears to be sick from a disorder of the life airs and takes the opportunity to reveal the symptoms of Krishna prema. While the Lord roams about as a great scholar, he empowers all the devotees who surrender to him. This narration of the early life of Sri Chaitanya includes a description of the immense joy upon Sachimata's face when she looks upon the moonlight blissful face and the graceful manner and clothes of the Lord. Then Nimai Pandit piques the pride of a scholar who was renowned as Digvijay, the world conqueror. Ultimately, the Lord slashes away the scholar's material bonds. The Lord puts everyone, even his devotees, into illusion. Did you bring the traíste tu tableta?
Sí, Maharaj.
Okay. Pues bienvenida.
Oh, thank you. Triptigana, Maharaj.
Triptigana?
Triptigana, hermana de Shruti.
Sí, sí,
Llegó anoche.
sí le conocí hace
Sí,
tiempo.
Sí, sí la conoce. Eso.
Ultimately, the Lord slashes away the scholar's material bonds. The Lord puts everyone, even his devotees, into illusion about his real identity, and he roams the street of Navadip, unknown to all. There's also a description of the Lord's pilgrimage to Gayadam and how he showers causeless mercy upon Ishwara Puri by accepting him as his spiritual master. The Adikanda is a reservoir of the Lord's never-ending pleasurable pastimes. In the future, Srila Vyasadeva, the greatest of sages, will describe other pastimes. However, herein I reveal the early pastimes of the Lord up to the time he returns from his visit to Gayadam. In the Madhyakanda, the Lord's omnipotence becomes known, and gradually his devotees are identified as they collect around his lotus feet like bees around honey. Chaitanya reveals his absolute identity as Lord Nityananda. Chaitanya reveals his absolute identity as Lord Narayan by sitting upon the altar of Vishnu in the house of Sri Advaita and Srivas Pandit. Sri Chaitanya meets Nityananda Prabhu, and together the brothers make wonderful Krishna Kirtan. Again, Nityananda's vision of the transcendental six-handed form of Lord Chaitanya is described. Later, the Lord exhibits his universal form to Sri Advaita Charya Prabhu. Okay. So today is the divine disappearance day of Srila Govinda Maharaj. So here, all the devotees work together to make his samadhi, which is up on the hill, and you can all go to that samadhi. And in the evening time, that's where we'll have arti here in the temple, but then we'll go to the samadhi for the program in the evening. So bring a warm jacket and a hat, because sometimes in the evening it's cold here. But we'll be out there. Before Govinda Maharaj disappeared, I told him, we want to take you to Sokel. And he said, yes, I will come there. And he said, I will sit on the branch of a tree. So he had told Hashapriya Prabhu which tree he liked and told him where his samadhi should be. So that's where the devotees all worked together, and everyone was working. All the devotees came and worked on this samadhi, including Ashram Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Kushamashram Maharaj. He was here also working. Everyone participated. But many times Govinda Maharaj was here in Sokel visiting us, when he would go on his world tours. And today the devotees began by taking up to his samadhi prasadam early in the morning. Govinda Maharaj once commented, he said, I am so shameless that I dream of Sureshwari bringing me prasad in the morning. So today Sureshwari and Krishna Priya, they were taking prasadam to Govinda Maharaj. Anyway, Disappearance Day in one sense is sad for us because it is the day of the disappearance of our Divine Master. But at the same time, as it is said about Guru Maharaj's Samadhi, it says union and separation. So we are thinking that the day of the disappearance of our spiritual master gives us a chance to remember him and to think very deeply about him. When Guru Maharaj disappeared, when Srila Sridhar Maharaj disappeared from this world, Srila Govinda Maharaj said on that day he saw that the deities in Navadip, Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar, he said, I saw them as so effulgent and as more happy than I'd ever seen them before. And he said he could understand that they were immensely happy, that Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj was with them again. And Govinda Maharaj always told us that he didn't like to refer to Guru Maharaj with the term Nitya Leela Pravishtom. Normally, devotees say Nitya Leela Pravishtom to someone who has left and enjoyed their Nitya Leela, has gone into their eternal pastimes. But Govinda Maharaj said he never would refer to Guru Maharaj in that way because he's always feeling that Guru Maharaj is present. He doesn't want to refer to him as by some distant term of Nitya Leela Pravishtom. We will not refer to Govinda Maharaj as that way either. We are thinking of him as always present. And we heard yesterday that the Lord is always present in two ways, by his Vani and Vapu. And Vapu is his when he is personally present. Just like Mahaprabhu is present in three ways for the living entities. He's present by his direct presence, he's present by empowering someone, as Shaktivesh, and he's also present as Avirbhav, when he reveals himself in the heart of a devotee and certain select devotees could see him, such as when he is always present in the house of Sachi Mata when she's feeding Nimai, or where Nityananda Prabhu is dancing, or in Sriva Sangam, where the devotees are having kirtan, or in the house of Raghava Pandit, where he's doing very exclusive and wonderful deity worship. So Mahaprabhu is always present in these places, and sometimes he would reveal himself as empowering someone like Nikul Brahmachari, or also when he was in his Avirbhav feature with Nishringananda Brahmachari, who was decorating the road to Vrindavan, but couldn't get in his mental, or I should say in his seva, within his mind, he couldn't make a special road decorated with lotuses and rose petals and lakes and fragrant flowers and trees and everything. He couldn't go any further than Kanai Natashala. So he told at this time, when Mahaprabhu was traveling to Vrindavan through Bengal, he said, Mahaprabhu will not go to Vrindavan at this time. And the Lord went to Ramakeli, where he rescued Rupa and Sanatan. And Sanatan told him, you're going with too many people to Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a solitary place. This is not the way to go to Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu reflected upon that and saw he was traveling with too many persons. Then he got as far as Kanai Natashala, then he turned back and went to Advaitacharya's house and then back to Jagannath Puri. But Nrishingananda, he was perceiving the Lord's special presence, in his Avirbhav feature. Now, I was talking about Vani and Vapu. The Lord, our spiritual master, Srila Govinda Maharaj, is present, or was present during his personal form. And the devotees here and elsewhere had the opportunity to serve him directly. But now that he is not visible to our mundane eyes, although he can still reveal himself to his devotees in many ways, we are serving his instructions, his Vani. Vapu and Vani. We are serving Govinda Maharaj's instructions. And I will say that we will always feel the presence of Srila Govinda Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj used to send me to Navadip. Sometimes when he wasn't well, he would stay most of the year. All the time he would stay in Kolkata. And he would send us to Navadip for the Gaur Purnima festival and for Guru Maharaj's appearance day and other times like that, while Govinda Maharaj would stay in Kolkata with some of the devotees. So when I go to Navadip, I am always feeling that I'm being sent there by Srila Govinda Maharaj. And when I go back to Calcutta, then I feel like I'm returning to Govinda Maharaj, because much of especially in the later years he was in Kolkata. But I'm always, like Govinda Maharaj said about Guru Maharaj, we don't want to use a distant term about Guru Maharaj, we want to think of him as always present. So we're thinking of Govinda Maharaj in that way. As I said, the devotees out of affection built the samadhi for Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and we're trying to serve his lotus feet. Srila Sridhar Maharaj said that a temple is a place for spreading Sukriti. So, although we are somewhat here in the countryside, we're not in the middle of a city, we're here, almost you could say it's like a forest here and a mountain, and there are deer coming down from the mountain that Govinda Maharaj used to watch. He used to watch the deer that would come down from the hills here. And he said this place here reminded him of Govardhan. So although we're in the middle of, you could say, the countryside, our mood is not that we are in a retreat or recluse there where the devotees are just hiding from society. No. Srila Sridhar Maharaj said that ashram is for spreading Sukriti, that we are to go and preach to people and give them some Sukriti in their life, some opportunity for them to begin their devotional service. So that's the mood of our ashram, and at the same time has a little mood of Navadip, because the ferocious county here will not let us build. We can talk about building all these huge buildings and everything, which we want to eventually build a temple here and everything, but the county is very, very dominant, and they are always giving us some problems about continuing. So it's, in one sense, it's working to our advantage a little in the meantime to help us live a simple life and feel very much like a mood of Navadip, which we had when we went there. Later there's so many buildings, guest houses in Navadip, and I'm sure that will come here sometime. As Govinda Maharaj said, I may not live to see that, and I myself, I may not live to see that also, because we're still talking about something that will happen in the future. But at the same time, I feel here, this here where we're living in the countryside very much captures the mood of an ashram. When Govinda Maharaj came to San Jose, he said, because previously they had an ashram in San Jose on 13th Street, but that ashram disappeared. And so when Govinda Maharaj came in 1992 to San Jose, he told us, now half the miracle has been accomplished, because the San Jose ashram has arisen again. And that ashram was in at 17th and Empire, where Jayanta Krishna and Braja Mohini, have their house. So that was the ashram, and he said when he came there, half the miracle has been completed, and the other half of the miracle will occur when you actually get a real place, which like a property. He said at least 5 acres. So this property has 28 acres. There's property on this side of the street, and on the other side of the street. So you can walk around this side of the street, and if you wish to run through the poison oak, you can go on the other side of the street. But it's all our property. The property of the deities. Actually, Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari. Because just a week or two ago, we were able to pay for the whole mortgage of this property. And so it's now, we're celebrating that the property is paid for and given to the deities. And the property will be put in the Seva Vikram Land Trust that will be holding trust for so that the property can never be sold or mortgaged. So anyway, here we are in Sri Sokel, in the ashram of Srila Govinda Maharaj. He's seated here on Vyasasan. He actually, you can say he began this ashram. But he told me, when he brought the deities here, he said, I would have been hesitant to install the deities if I knew how much money you owed to the bank on this property. But now we don't owe the bank any money on this property, so now I think Govinda Maharaj would be satisfied by that. And now we feel the deities are here, seated, you know. Anyway, today is the divine disappearance day of Srila Govinda Maharaj. So, you can say Mahaprabhu's mood was service and separation. You know, service and separation means service in mood of Vipralamba. So, we are hearing that is the best mood for serving the Lord, is not to be a sahaji and think that one's dancing with Krishna and the gopis, but actually to be serving the Lord, always thinking of Him, serving as separation. So that we'll endeavor to do. Anyway, I'll finish here. Now it's Govinda Maharaj's divine disappearance day. You know, when a few days ago it was Lord Ramachandra's divine appearance, and the devotees were fasting till noon. Not a big fast, but fasting till noon. But on this day we don't fast. Govinda Maharaj said that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur distributed prasadam on the day of on the day of the appearance of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He said he distributed prasadam from 8 in the morning till the night. So we will follow in that way. The devotees now take prasadam and we'll continue with the service of Srila Govinda Maharaj on this day. Jai. Jai Srila Govinda Maharaj ki jai.
Orange one?
Good. The seat, the cold. You have to turn off this?
Nah. They can turn it off after we offer Jai Om prayers, and then they can click it off. You know, we'll sing a song. I'll turn this off. But that's what you mean. Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Sharavaya Namah Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Sharavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Maranamo Giridhari Gopinatha Maranamo Shri Parikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Jyoti Jai Jai Om Vishnu Bhad Vanamansa Paramajaka Charyasta Tara Sada Shishi Man Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Bhad Vanamansa Paramajaka Charya Astatara Sada Shishi Man Srila Bhakti Rakakshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Prem Se Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata Ki Jai Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai Anandakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Ki Jai Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Shri Galadvip Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jai Sokel Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Sevashram Ki Jai Ganga Devi Ki Jai Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai